Little huddle for the Benin players. Already complete at South Africa. Looking to make sure this is a match that when they leave the pitch, they're still top of Group C. Bronwyn Williams, as ever, captaining. He'll go up against his opposite captain, Steve Meunier. So underway, Benin in all yellow against the all green of the Bafana Bafana. Well, Bafana Bafana on an incredible run. They haven't lost a competitive match since January 2024 away at Mali. 2-0 defeat there. The only other defeat they've suffered was on penalty kicks at the 2023 AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire. Of course, eventually finishing third place. So they've been on a magnificent run, and one they don't want to see cracked. But Benin of late have been picking up draws. They finished their AFCON group with a couple, and then of course the draw with Benin. But just 2 points behind South Africa at kickoff. They are very much focused on trying to get to the summit. But Bafana Bafana looking bright and early. Great underlapping run as Kaliso Mudai wins a corner. Well, Gernot Rohr said he certainly didn't come for the money. He's earning half what he would with Nigeria. He's certainly making a difference at Benin, the 71-year-old. Celebrating a year in the job. The German facing up against a fellow veteran, Hugo Broos. And the Belgian hopes that Rele Boile Mufokeng can be a star again as he takes the corner, headed towards goal, but just drifts wide. Speaking of which, there is Hugo Broos, and he's really connected with the top division in South Africa in order to try and create a bit more unity in how the national team, but also the clubs, progress, and particularly so many in the South African squad are home-based. One of the reasons for so much pride in their performance in Côte d'Ivoire, and they finished with a bronze medal. Lovely turn as Benin win the ball back. Chance for a first touch for Dodo Doku. We hope to be in amongst it again. 2 goal involvements against Zimbabwe. A good play by Rashid Mumini down the line. Trying to put the pressure on, gets encouragement from Junior Olaitan. Certainly one not shy to motor on. Well, they felt they should have had a free kick. Atusi Abbas would say he was too strong. Bronwyn Williams launches long, loose header. Chance to drive. Jinks and then clips it into a really good area. Stays in, Steve Meunier, the captain, recycles possession. South Africa can only clear so far, but it's a loose one from Sessi Dalmeida. An encouraging minute or so for Benin. Long throw. Ball's loose. A little flash off the ball, but it's picked up by Olaitan. Digs out across. And then for the edge of the area, it was always going to be ambitious from Dalmeida. Dangerous deliveries, testing the South African defence. Dalmeida in the end, well over the 29-year-old, born in Bordeaux, where he started his career. Also had a spell in automatic access to the party in North America next year. Despite their bigger resources, bigger name, it has not been a fun time for Bafana Bafana in terms of qualification. African champions in 1996, but their third place in Côte d'Ivoire as this match has taken place. It's 23 years since they'd last finished in the top 3 positions. And in terms of World Cups, since that incredible occasion of hosting in South Africa, but really for the whole of Africa in 2010, they have failed to qualify for the last 3. They feel their time has to be now, though Benin and Nigeria, as well as Rwanda, will want to have a say about that. The offside flag going up, pretty conclusive. It's certainly true that South Africa, Benin and Rwanda taking advantage of a horror show of a start for Nigeria, now with Eric Schell in charge. Just 4 points separates the top 4 in the group. Nice play to get out. Protects the ball well, Steve Meunier. Had a wonderful last year with Brest as he left them with a podium finish and Champions League football. But in the end, Sagas, whether he'd sign a new contract, elected to head off to Augsburg, although it's not a move that's worked out. Just one start in 14 appearances and without a goal. But he did score for his country, his 19th goal set up by Doku. And he's trying to rise up the list, but it's Bafana trying to race through the yellow shirts. It ran eventually for Lyle Foster, but it didn't stick with the number 9. Bit of sparring in this opening 9 minutes. Neither goalkeeper having been brought into action yet. Just try to flick it round the corner, Percy Tau, who in theory is set up to be side by side with Foster, but given his skill and pace, certainly expect to see him drift to where the space is. Tried to fire it into the feet of Meunier, but Molaitan now presses because South Africa were able to win the ball back. Williams with time. Bit more of a settled back line as Inga Zana exchanges passes alongside Sabisi for the second successive match. They are missing Motobi Mvala. They have got good cover, although they certainly over the past few months, or the last number of international breaks, they have had to switch quite a lot in the back line. Even Ronwen Williams out injured. They were delighted when he returned. Undisputed number 1. Of course, featuring in the top 10 best. Age certainly comes off the hand, but in a position I think most would agree was natural from Johan Roche. Dan Baida of Mauritania, the AFCON 2023 final referee, as well as the Olympic final in Paris between France and Spain. And that was an unforgettable one, as was Côte d'Ivoire's incredible title win. Will we see anything like that for this FIFA World Cup qualifier? Mumini battling for it, but it's a strong header from Savisi. Well, he came a long way there. Ngazana, be happy that it fell back into Bafana hands, because he was going to be caught horribly out of position. Savisi. Touch for Fawaz Basadien. Wants a bit of movement. Gets it. And that's broken kindly for Lyle Foster. Drives into the box. Looks for the cutback. Percy Tau, I'm not sure if he got the clip wrong or if it was a defensive block, but either way, got it away for a goal, from goal for Benin. First real threat from South Africa in open play. Lovely play. Mufokeng was knocked off the ball, but good advantage. But Tau can't quite feed Foster. Benin living a bit dangerously at the moment. And certainly Bafana starting to up the ante. Digging out the cross. Is he onside? The linesman says no. Well, they're never going to be in agreement. To bomb forward. Maybe looking for something that drifted in behind. Instead it fell in behind him. Suddenly sees a bit of movement. It's a great ball lofted in. Oh, the header was drifting towards goal. But in the end, not enough pace on it from Alatan. And a take from Williams. But it was great invention. Running off the back of Basadien. Needed a bit more loop on it. A real opportunity. A warning there for South Africa. Quick thinking as well. Almost cashing in for the Cheetahs. It's the movement off the ball that's proving the best route. Both sides looking to be positive. Bafana, they're in! But Mudau had the opportunity to find Foster. He then hesitated and then just trundled it to the near post. This is a great opportunity. And it's one that's been wasted. Tommaso D'Angino got a touch on it, but only after it had gone behind the goal line. Just such a surprise not to see Mudau play it first time to Foster. So very even contest. We've got an awful long way to go. Wonder if a goal might spark something thrilling. Whether it's going to be this tight affair. Well, slipping certainly isn't going to help. Fortunately able to shepherd it back to safety. 30 degrees here in Abidjan, 74% humidity. There will be a cooling break at the half-hour mark. 10 minutes for the players to really go hell for leather before they get a chance to refresh. Well, some long balls in the matches, but they've been with purpose. Another one that just wasn't quite on. Mofokeng, willing runner, with the ball running far too far out of reach. Haven't seen too much of the forward players, Steve Meunier for Benin or Percy Tau and Lyle Foster. Have seen it, little flickers and little moments. Nothing that would constitute a constant threat. From the previous two meetings between these nations, both that South Africa have hosted, it's been Bafana who have been victorious. Of course, the first meeting, in fact, was at the 2004 Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia in Group D. South Africa's only win of that tournament as both nations crashed out. So 20 years on before they met again in Durban. Percy Tau can't believe it's gone against him. In fact, 19 years when they faced out in Durban. 2-1 victory. Percy Tau and Mudau with goals in the first half. Steve Meunier, though, set up a very tense last 15. And it's another tight affair between these nations, although Benin losing out on home advantage, having to play their match away here in Côte d'Ivoire. Certainly hope to be back at the Stade d'Alimité very soon. Charging run, but Mudau has pace to burn. Now trying to sneak his way out. Shake of the head from Andreas Untonji. Lost the ball. And then a cheap free kick. Certainly had a fine spell with Benin, a year in charge. Can he add AFCON qualification to a first ever FIFA World Cup berth? Surely a 71-year-old German would have a statue built in Benin. But South Africa are looking to strike until a potentially goal-saving challenge. Johan Roche stuck to his task. He had to make up ground here and just knock it behind for a corner. Percy Tau taking over responsibility. Swung in deep and just nodded away. Uru, the left back, the only change to the side that drew in Zimbabwe. Wasn't taking any chances. Up against Sabisi. Well, some bumping and finding in the area. Mofoken just about to deliver, but has to put it on point. Taken short to change the angle. Flick to the near post. Oh, well, there's some screaming in the box because I'm not sure the goalkeeper was too pleased with the risk taken. Percy Tau right there, now on ball. Links with Molofaken. Drifted ball, but it comes to the edge of the area. It's untidy. But Benin able to bring a bit of calm and good strength to get out of a sticky situation. Lovely turn, Ola Atan. Drag back there. Keeping a cool head in the humid heat of Abidjan. No booking issued to Mabate. Aurora will be delighted how his side are faring up against one of the big nations in the group. Of course, the group including his former employers, Nigeria. Now a bit of space to work in, but Percy Tau seemed to think he was going in behind. The pass went short, but he wasn't there. Breakdown in communication. Flip forward. Nice little header there from Percy Tau. Good strength in midfield from Bata. Now clips it to Mudau. Tau comes short. Finding a bit more joy, Percy Tau, after his Egyptian affair turned a bit sour. Despite some very big early success, particularly in the CAF Champions League. But now, plying his trade in Qatar and has rediscovered his place in Borus's starting 11. There was a lot of talk about why he was missing out, and Boros said once he plays, he'll be back in. True to his word. acrobatic clearance. Hits the halfway line. And now breaks for the Cheetahs. Space on the right. Played slightly behind. Mumini. Now they're on the front foot. Edging towards the first cooling break. It remains highly entertaining, but ultimately goalless first half thus far. Benin look happy to give South Africa possession further from goal, looking to engage once they cross into their half. Latan seen a lot of the ball. He had that great chance with a header, though had to produce all the power, and Ronwen Williams relatively comfortable. Lovely ball spread out to the left flank. Benin trying to build. Happy to take a bit of possession. Well, Roche would have taken it back, but it's stolen. Percy Tau feeds Foster, tried to cut back. A very important challenge from Mohamed Tajani. Well, he says throw. So does the goalkeeper. Roche now playing his trade in the second tier of Romanian football, having left to France. Trying to get to grips with Lyle Foster playing his trade in the Championship with Burnley, trying to get back to the English Premier League. Swung into a good area, beats everyone though. So the referee now calling that first water break. Both teams have looked to be positive. We haven't seen enough though of Steve Mounier, particularly for the Cheetahs. Hasn't really been much action for Tanginu. Ronwen Williams, a couple of saves to make, particularly from the head of Ole Tan. But otherwise, it's been an arm wrestle that doesn't look like having a winner anytime soon. So a cooling break in the 30-degree heat of Abidjan and 74% humidity. But also a chance, as we see the captain, Mounier, and Bros with Bafana. It's an opportunity to have a talk and try and work things out. This was the long ranger that deflected for a corner. Certainly ambitious from Talente Mbat. And then down the line, Lyle Foster riding the challenge, driving into the area. The cutback was on, but it's a great block to deny Percy Tau. And a big moment for Benin. What a ball in behind. Clever header. And in the end, Ronwen Williams had time to readjust and pluck it after Junior Olatan tried to lift it over him. And then this was the moment. Mutau, instead of playing it first time to Foster waiting to slam it home, ended up with a weak effort at the near post. That somewhat sums up the opening 30 minutes. So back underway, South Africa in possession. Long ball searching. The defender went down. May have sneaked away from Tapelo Morena. Not a lot in that for sure. I think Uoru doing well to buy it, but I don't see much of the threat from Morena or even from Mofokeng. We've seen most of the 20-year-olds action taking the set pieces that have come South Africa's way. No wonder there's some pondering looks on the Bafana bench. Meunier wins the header. Mutau. Well, there was claims made, and they were heard. Handball. Quickly over is Oletan. And he looks likely to be the one charged with delivery. Well, Williams trying to organise. All swung into the space, but it's good header away. Benin now reset. And Ginu. Mumini gets his head down and starts charging. Showed too much of the ball, though, to Bassanien. In the end, it looks like Foster's been penalised. Seems to be an awful lot in it. There is Doku, 33-year-old, having had a bitter end to his spell with Sochaux. Headed to the Luxembourg top flight. Another chance to deliver, this time to the near side. Same result. The boot of Oletan cleared away. Big switch, a bit too big it seems, particularly for Roar. Taking a chance there, but he's cutting out Benin players as he drives forward. Wants to keep going. Goes down, gets back up. Well, fabulous play. Stepping out of defence and then whipped effort. A comfortable save. Maybe the first, though, for Danjinu. Ball's breaking kindly. Encouragement for Benin. Bafana with players back. Doku comes short. Doesn't get it. Clipped by Uru Mumini. Loads of space, but now trying to close it down is Morena, and that forces the ball back. Bread and butter for Steve Meunier. He was closer to it, but couldn't manage to get into a battle with Sebisi or Ngazana. So 6 minutes before the halftime break, plus any stoppage time. Of course, we had the cooling break. Not been too many stoppages otherwise. Well, it's smart play on one hand. Tamimu Oru drawing the foul, but Percy Tau, it's just the most typical attacking failure of patience. He's not going anywhere, and yet you just step in. He is so unlikely he's going to turn and hit a 40-yard ball in behind and put his team on the attack. But Benin happily accept and launch long. So goalless here. Benin, of course, have been looking for 3 straight wins in the group. It was on the cards, 2-0 up at Zimbabwe at half-time. Only for Zimbabwe to come back for a 2-2 draw. And Zimbabwe's just 3rd point of the group. That is some confident goalkeeping. And Ginu heading it to Mumini. That man's not been involved at all. So dangerous in the air, in particular. He hasn't had the chance to attack anything. You can see Benin are dropping so deep, looking to break out when they do get the ball. Ball breaks. Again, their first. Sebisi. Not the best of balls, just bobbling right in front of Basadien. Sebisi into Obas. Back with the defender. Clips it over. Bit of space now for Mofokeng to work it. in the referee's ear. And clearly, Aida not seeing enough contact toward the free kick is now. He's explaining, maybe. I'll referee the game. You don't need to tell me. Cam explaining. Munye up in the challenge. Won by Ngazana. Referee wants to see how play unfolded, but pulls it back for a foul. So edging towards the halftime break. Both teams have tried to be positive. It's an opening 45 minutes devoid of many chances. And both goalkeepers underemployed. So just 2 minutes added on, pretty much for the cooling break. All launch forward, good clearance. Oletan protects the ball well, but then just gives it away a bit too cheaply. That's Adien. Will one of these sides try and push that little bit? Right at the end of the half, Percy Tau with a bit of movement. But doesn't reach him initially. And eventually puts his body in the right place and wins the ball, but then gives it away. Toku finds Oletan, but he can't hold on to it. Well won. Obas just stepping in to tidy up. And certainly losing Mokoena. And sitting Jaden Adams on the bench. Gone with two rock-solid midfielders. Probably hoped it would be a basis for the wide men in particular, and Percy Tau as well, to get involved. Hasn't quite happened. And it would be a shock to see anything change that fact before the halftime whistle in just over 30 seconds time. Lovely flick on. Rare time that Munye's been able to fight for something.